Hello, everybody. I'm Paula. I work at Delivery Hero. If you do not know it, uh, we were a food delivery company. Right now, we are actually delivering more than food. We deliver groceries. We deliver, well, almost everything. We are in more than 50 countries, I would say. So we work with apps from all around the world. And what I'm here to talk about today is personalization. I saw that this is a topic that was talked a lot here already, which is actually good for me since this is basically my job, so it's nice that it's hyped right now. But I'm gonna actually go a bit more into detail of how can you level up your game in personalization? How can you go from first name to a bit more than that? So for me, what is personalization? For me, the first thing, and I think that should be the key driver if you want to start using personalization, is you're tailoring your messages in order to make your user relate to them more. So make the user experience more interesting for them, right? So I think this is should be the main goal when talking about personalization. The second thing is using the data available to improve your content. So data, as I highlighted here, for me is key. If you want to do any type of personalization, you have to collect data, you have to understand what your customer is doing in your product, how they are interacting with your product in order to go forward with what should I personalize in the message, and then later on, what should I recommend. So recommending next actions should always be personalized, should always be something that you will tell your customer, well, what is next? What can be a next step for me, right? And lastly, a form of improving the engagement and, of course, conversion. This is our end goal, right? So it's always looking for having higher frequency, having more orders. So, and for me, also a big thing of why I'm working with personalization is to actually drive these without the use of incentives. So in my business, incentives are a really big tool to make users order more. So please order again at McDonald's or whatever. Here's a €3 voucher. And for me, the idea is that you order again because I sent you something that you will relate to, because I sent you something that you actually want to order without having to have this, this help of a bit of money there. And so going a bit more into it, how can you actually level up your personalization? How can you go from first name to something a bit greater and more tailored? So I would say we all start in the same step, which is generic content, right? So everybody, this is the level 1. So here, I'm just using this example. So I'm running this reorder campaign, and I have this user that bought already. I want them to come back. So we miss you, come back to the app and check out our vendors. I could send this to anybody. I could send this to anybody here. Well, okay, maybe they will order again, maybe they won't, let's see. But how can I make it a bit more tailored? So here is the level 2, which I would call simple personalization. So here is adding attributes from your user, so attributes that you collect from the user itself. So their name, maybe birthday, maybe their age, maybe their city, and then I'm gonna add that to the campaign. So here, this campaign is for me, okay? So, Paula, we miss you, come back to the app and check out our vendors. So yeah, cool, I know this message is for me, but still, what else can you tell me, like, you know my name, nice, but I think also depending on the market, on the business that you work at, just putting your name there, maybe you won't get the user to actually order the next thing. And especially in a market with so many competitors, this can be not enough, So then we have the level 3, which would be adding users' previous behavior. So here is when data comes even more into hand. So how do you use the data that you collect? So how do you use the interactions that your user had with your product or with your app, the pages they clicked, the products they bought, they visited, the cart they abandoned, the ratings they did. So how do you actually do that? How do you actually use that in order to push them to make this next action? So here, my example, I'm getting the last vendor that I ordered from. So Paula, your last vendor misses you. Come back to the app and check it out. And then, of course, I would have like a deep link that would redirect this user to the correct vendor. So this is already a way of making it a bit more relatable, right? So, okay, I know this vendor. I ordered it already. Why not order it again? It's easy, right? I'm hungry. Let's do it. But we can go even further. So more than just checking previous data, what I would say is the level 4 here is to interact with external data sources. So this is something that for me is quite interesting. So how can you add additional information to your message, of course, relating it to your user and to their behavior, in order to make it more personalized? So we have like several public APIs. If you don't have other data sources, actually, we have several public APIs where you can get information on weather, on events like, I don't know, Champions League games, or big concerts, or I don't know, big events or tickets. Also on finance, also on nutrition, so you can get data on like nutritional data of food. And then how can I add that to my message? So how can I make it more relatable to the user on what's happening now, right? So I'm getting this real-life data from another source, and I'm adding this to the message. So Paula, it's 3 degrees outside. Luckily, I think today it isn't, right? It's a nice day, but let's say it's 3 degrees outside. Order again from your last vendor, and enjoy some Netflix time. So I'm adding also more information so the user will understand that that message was made for him at that moment. So this was really specific for him at that moment. And then I think here, going to my last level, it would be adding the moment. So how can I use real-time data or real-time user behavior, actually, to trigger the campaign? How can I use that as well? So it's not only what I'm sending, so it's not only the content, but also the moment, right? I think these are 2 really important things when we are talking about personalization, is what I'm sending to each customer itself, and what is the right moment of sending it anything. So, well, we talk about that a lot when we do like abandoned cart campaigns, right? This is the exact moment when I have to remind this user that they forgot something in the cart, or so they can come back. And I think this is really important also when using personalization. So here, I actually got this example. So we can do, for example, like geolocation. So I know that this user entered the coverage area of their last vendor, and then I can trigger this message. So Paula, your last vendor is really close to you right now. Why don't you order? And then I added another layer of like another placeholder here for the dish that they ordered before. So why don't you order this dish again? So then here I'm combining the right moment with the right message. And then in the end, my key goal is to make this more, to make the conversions higher, right? And to have bigger incrementality. And well, talking about conversions, which I think it's, as I said, our main goal when we are doing these campaigns, what is an outcome that you can actually expect from this? And this is from my experience, right? We have been running personalized campaigns like this for over 2 years. Yeah, over 2 years now. And from my experience at Delivery Hero, the first learning is that active and loyal users respond exceptionally well to these campaigns. This is great because they can increase a frequency of a user that already has a really high frequency. And also, as I said, in my market, we use a lot, in my business, we use a lot of vouchers. And this is a way that I can spare a bit of money, spare a bit of my budget with an active user, with a loyal user, by just sending them what they want to see, what they want to, the message that they want to get. And it's also interesting because actually active and loyal users are the users that we can collect more data from. So then my personalization is even better because I have more data from what they already did with us or what they already did in the app. So I can have like greater levels of personalization and recommendation as well. The second learning that I got from this is that over time, the more these users are impacted with these types of campaigns, the more the users are impacted with personalized campaigns, the best their conversion is. So I have this campaign that we have been running. It's an automation, so we have been running for a long time. And you can see that in 60 days after they're receiving these types of campaigns, their frequency evolves a lot more. And actually, the incremental orders of this campaign specifically was 20 times higher than control group. So and here is just like an overview of how it looked. So in 60 days after we are sending these types of campaigns, these users are increasing their frequency exponentially. And if I could give some tips to start personalizing campaigns, I think I would say the first one is the content has to be appealing, right? So why am I suggesting that to you? So you can also, maybe in a push, we don't have space, but maybe in an email, you can say, well, I'm suggesting this to you, especially if it's a new action, if you're cross-selling or something like that, based on something that you already did. So I'm not just recommending you whatever it is. I'm looking at what you did, and I'm trying to tailor what I think it could be a next action for you, or maybe many users that ordered from this vendor ordered from this one and also like it, give good reviews. So why am I actually suggesting that to you? The second one, which I actually think I mentioned in the beginning, recommendations should be personalized. Definitely not all of my users will want to buy from the same vendor, from the same type of vendor, from the same cuisine. So if you're doing any type of recommendation, you have to put personalization there. If you don't know what your customers want, so you don't know what to recommend, then just ask them. You can do a survey. Use that, segment what the response that you got from your survey, and then you can start personalizing what is your next recommendation for this user, what is your next message for this user, based on what they actually told you they want. And last but not least, sometimes maybe we don't have the tools that or we don't have enough data, or we don't have the right tool to do this. So if you cannot do user-level personalization, then use segmentation. So then bundle your users into big segments, but at least users that have something in common, so you can at least try to start recommending something that is more personalized, or start sending a message that is more personalized based on why they belong to that specific segment. And then you can start maybe not on a user level, but on a segment level to talk about personalization and to use personalization into your campaigns and messages. Yeah, that's it for me. If you have any questions, well, I'm gonna stick around, so feel free to talk to me.